If you're into mechs, anime, and love the thrill of extraction shooters, there's a brand new contender on the horizon from Bandai Namco, Synduality Echo of Ada. But with so many games releasing and flopping, especially after the whole Blue Protocol issue, therefore brings me the big question. Will this one be worth your time? In this video, we'll break down everything you need to know about the gameplay, the visuals, and what could make Synduality Echo of Ada either the next big hit in the extraction shooter genre or just another missed opportunity through Bandai. What's up, Chaotic fam? It's your host, ChaosDTV here at Chaotic Inc. And this is your chill spot for all things RPGs, news, reviews, and as well as guides. Let's jump into the world of Synduality Echo of Ada. So now, Synduality Echoes of Ada is Bandai Namco's take at an extraction shooter while taking elements from one of their IPs, Armored Core. Now, this is just a preview gameplay demo of what's to come in January 2025. Starting off in the network test that I'm playing on, sees you choosing up to 4 different characters, which are basically just 2 different skin swaps. These characters allow you to are accompanying you on your journey as a mech warrior, or as the game calls you, a drifter, someone who makes a living by mining rare resources called AO crystals. And you do get to choose from 2 different waifus and 2 different husbandos. These seems more like a small customization of not your main character, but just your assistant that the game calls a magus. These are humans who basically assist you on the battlefield, that can give you directions, they can give you hints, and even warnings about incoming danger, whether it's the xenomorphic ender enemies, the rogue drifters, or even the dangerous weather. More on that a little bit later. But choosing your waifu or husbando sets you up for different styles of play for your magus, and you get to use 5 different styles, ranging from focusing more on defense. There's a style that lets you know when there's weather coming. I've personally utilized that one during my entire time. There's also a couple others that allow you to do, more damage to the enders or deal more damage to rogue bandits. So there's definitely different styles of play and these act as like your ults in the game. You don't really get to use it till the ult is filled up and you can basically pop it. So just keep that in mind when you're hopping in. When it comes to you though, as a character, you don't really get a customizing option, but not to the extent you would see. Well, I'll get it more a little bit later, but we can basically see that due to the fact that you be in your mech suit 100% of the time, which the game calls the cradle coffin, your assistant magus, both of your goal is to mine these AO crystals and bring them back to your base safely. But before you go into any overall battles, you must gear up your mech first, and this is when you get to actually customizing your character. That is when I finally understood exactly what I was getting myself into, because another game this will remind you of is extraction-based shooters like Escape from Tarkov and many other genres and many others in the genre. For those of you who do not know what an extraction shooter is, basically you gear up, head into the battlefield, and your job is to gather as much loot as you can and extract back home safely, sometimes dealing with PvE and PvP. But what made this genre difficult and punishing is that if you die in your match, any equipment you brought with you is lost forever, and you will need to rebuy or even craft new supplies to make your next run much better. Currently, you must also choose what region you would like to visit, which as of right now, there's only like the northern and even the southern region. And you can also apply this insurance claim to any of your equipment that if you fear to lose them if you die in battle. So it definitely takes a lot of elements from other extraction games, very similar to Tarkov and other games just like it. And they have the safe pocket mode, so you can put an item in your pocket, so no matter what happens, that item will always stay with you. So they have a lot of elements just for anybody who is already familiar with extraction-based shooters, but they still make it easy for people who've never played an extraction shooter ever. And that's what I like about this game. It fits both sides of the, it's both sides of the coin, new players and as well as seasoned players. Now, let's get to the overall main gameplay. Since, like I said, this is just the network test, there may be more stuff later on, but overall, this is pretty much how the game will play. Where the main bulk of your time will be spent is searching for these AO crystals, mining them while dealing with different enemies and sometimes other players. And each time you drop in the zone is to mainly excavate these crystals, return home safely. You'll be doing that for every session, but you will also gain many quests to do that you receive throughout your time playing every time you enter this region. So giving you stuff to do alongside as just, well, surviving. There are two major mechanics in this game that all players need to know about this game, and as time goes on, you will notice that your magus is warning you about rain, and there's also the mech's battery. So as beautiful as the game is, the visuals look very great. Of course, it has that anime aesthetic that Bandai Namco is known for, and you will notice the world is getting this green hue. Like, it looks so great, but you know there's in danger that is incoming, because that green hue indicating that, boom, it is raining. Now, depending on how bad the rain is, whether it's a light sprinkle to a heavy downpour, your magus will actually let you know, like, hey, you know, you should be fine right now, or hey, we need to get to shelter ASAP, because that rain would deteriorate your mech's overall suit, and therefore can leave you, you know, very vulnerable and could possibly die. Now, I have not seen what it's like to have your meter all the way drop, because I made sure to stay under safely. And of course, the style I chose was to let me know when weather is coming, which basically gives me like this over shield over any rain, so I can still be able to shoot and mine and do things while I have this shield over me, even when it's raining, so that there's literally no downtime when I'm no AFK downtime, so to speak. And when you're also in that rain, you will notice that your shield is depleting dangerously fast, depending on how bad that rain is. But your character gets two different health bars, one that acts as a shield and the other that acts as your actual health. But if you are enjoying mechs and waifus, then definitely give it a like and sub for more RPG related content. And continue with the episode, we also have your battery that is inside of your mech, which gives you a 20-minute timer to get back home or you're cooked. Basically giving you a nice little time limit to not stay too long in the battlefield. So there's been too many times where I kind of cut it a little too close, because each evacuation point is very far out from where your main area where you land. So you got 20 minutes to get enough loot, get enough crystals, fight off enough enemies, try to do enough quests, and make it back in time without dying or letting your 20-minute timer pass. Now, speaking about dying and all that good stuff, the only way we got to talk about it is the combat. Now, with your mech, you get two types of weapons, and can also fully customize your mech with different gear like new legs, new arms, and such to help improve your time in battle. Now, the two types of weapons I got to use was the physical and energy weapons. I do not know if there's going to be any other types of weapons, but so far I've only seen these two, which both acts as two main different weapons gameplay wise. So physical weapons shoot live rounds, which are greatly powerful, but the con of this gun is the overall recoil. It is absolutely atrocious. But the other side of that coin is energy weapons, which has zero recoil, but it's also powerful. But during your time playing this, you will come across these two types of enemies, which, depending on how you want to utilize your weapons, would dictate how you'll handle these enemies. So there are the mechs who have gone rogue, which, keep in mind, this is an online game, so there's two types of mechs you'll come across. You'll come across NPCs, and you'll come across other players, because yes, you can go rogue at any point in time. This is just like any other extraction-based game, any other survival-based game. And then there's the Enders, who are xenomorph enemies, and since, like I said, this is online, you have to be careful. You have to treat this like, well, you know, if you look behind your back, if you come across somebody that's friendly, who has not gone rogue, you know, I came across somebody, he was really cool, he gave me some gear, and we went on about our merry ways. But you also got to be careful not to turn your entire back to them, because all of these mechs' main weakness point is the back of their suit, which deals crazy, that takes a lot of damage, and you can destroy a lot of mechs very easily if your positioning is correct. But once you overall had your fill of the area and collected all that you need, then you must evacuate. Like I said, you have a 20-minute timer to really get it out of there. And then once you get to these evacuation sites, they give you about 30 seconds to be able to actually leave. So you have to defend your position just in case of any other rogue mechs are coming your way, which then you can return home without dying. Then your magus will give you an entire video playback, and it's basically recording itself of your entire run. So if you want strategies for your next run, which you can study these movements you make and plan your next run for better, but you also get money for what you collected to upgrade your warehouse. Therefore, with the money you earn, you can upgrade your garage to further improve your overall time and game. Then this is done by crafting 3 different areas of your garage. Now, I will say that the world is very vibrant and colorful no matter what area you go to, and the map in itself is pretty large. Every run you will make, you will randomly be placed in a different area on the map. There's plenty of scenery to enjoy while you're mining and taking down enemies. Bandai Namco really has a track record of the way they do things. Their colors are just always so great across the board for most of their games, even the closed game Blue Protocol. It is something I really do enjoy visually looking at. They do their colors very well, and I've been enjoying that type of color palette for 10-ish plus years. The game in itself is extraction based, which is addicting like we see in games like Tarkov or even the Dark Zone and the Division games. So there's definitely a market for these type of games. I do believe the added touch of mechs and of course like the fun assistant waifu or husbando that adds Synduality to join most of the ranks for extraction games, as the overall core gameplay is fun. And it was hard for me to really put it down because you really get that itch to keep trying your luck with each new run. It's like a weird way of gambling your loot, but making each run high risk and even high reward. Synduality combat is pretty fun too, especially when you come across other players. Like I said earlier in the video, some are fun and nice, but some may try to end you. But there's also the NPC rogue mechs, and bro, trust me, I've got into plenty of wars with these guys. It was at least like 5 or 6 of them coming out like roaches. I'm over here bobbing and weaving for like I'm a mech version of John Wick, and it's those fun, awesome moments that you get when you're hopping in. Now, of course, when this game is fully out and everything and people are actually get to play it, I believe having more areas where there's a nice thing of like we could have like robot wars, like rogue players versus regular like friendly players, and you can have those fun moments like that. So I definitely have high hopes for something like this. It is definitely not like a super major IP. Hopefully it gets a lot of praise so that this game can prosper and Bandai can continue making new ideas and stuff like that, or utilizing new ideas and taking from other games and just trying to do their own element. And I think the most fun about this is just really pushing your luck, trying to get better at these games, and just each new run you're gonna get better and better. As of right now, every run I have made, I did not die, so I want to keep it that way. But Synduality Echo of Ada is set to release January 24th, 2025, and I do recommend playing it if you're a fan of the extraction genre. If you never played one before, I feel like if you like a good challenge in your games and love testing your luck, then I definitely say give it a shot. My gameplay did come from the network test, so I did run into a bit of like laggy areas, frame rate droppage, and of course recording this on OBS was a nightmare. So hopefully the gameplay you guys are seeing on screen does not look bad. If that can be fixed in the next few weeks, then this would be a good online extraction shooter for Bandai for months to come. If you did like today's episode, then I recommend checking this video out here, and it's talking about my top 10 RPGs for you to play in 2024. And as always, stay safe out there, and it's been your host, Chaos DTV, here at Chaotic Inc., signing out. Peace.